Good afternoon. This is Jim Whitehead of All Power Group. Today we're going to talk about Generac warranties and service repair. It's kind of boring, but it will, believe it or not, if you follow the steps I'm going to go through, you'll find that this will save you a lot of hassle and actually some money. What comes with a Generac is what we call a limited warranty, and I would even add the adjective, a very limited warranty. You can see on the slide that for the first year and second year, parts, labor, and limited travel are covered. That's pretty good. But when you get into the third year, you only have parts only covered, no labor for the dealer repairing the unit, and no travel. And then when you go into the fourth and fifth year, it only covers major parts and components only, and that could be, for example, a rotor, stator, an engine, some pretty big things that, of course, you don't want to replace, but they're still not providing labor. So even though they would send you, let's say you needed a new engine, they'd send the dealer the engine, but they would not pay for any of the labor. So you can see that really they don't make sense. They're not good for either both the customer or the dealer. What I often did when I did have this type of warranty on a unit I sold, I wouldn't, when it would go into the third and fourth years, etc., I would not charge labor. You know, the point would be saying, well, you can't work for free, but I would always feel it was kind of not the best warranty, and I didn't want to have to send a bill to the customer. So now I'm going to basically go into the warranties that I recommend, and you'll see what I'm talking about. As I mentioned, the dealer really, for the limited warranty, is really only fully covered for 2 years, which is not the best in the world. And as I said, I would be absorbing typically the labor when it would go into one of the other plans. What the recommendation from me, and I've been doing this for 18 years, and I got to be honest, I've always had issues with warranties. You buy a car, and when you're with the finance guy, he or gal, they will basically almost, nail your hands to the desk until you agree to a multi-year extended warranty, because they make a lot of money. They don't really care if you what happens to your new car, and they almost sometimes get into indicating that the minute you drive out, all the wheels are going to fall off. So now back to what I feel are the best warranties for these units. They have, and this is called a bumper-to-bumper warranty area, and that means within the time period, and I got to really point out, you cannot stack warranties. So you can't buy a 5 and then buy a 7 and add them together. It doesn't work that way. You're only going to have one warranty, so you got to keep that in mind. 5 years bumper-to-bumper, 7 or 10 years bumper-to-bumper. And it's fair to everybody. And if there's a joke within dealers, you will say, we don't get rich from doing warranty repair, but you do get paid for doing your work. Like with anything, you might say it took you 4 hours, they'll pay you for 2. But the point is, it is your customer, and you're getting the unit fixed, and you are getting some reimbursement for your time. So I would never, not do a warranty job, or I wouldn't do what we call, have it where I add additional dollars back to the customer to say, well, even though I'm only getting paid for 2 hours, it took me 4, and I'm going to bill you for the difference. No, we don't do that. Whatever we get paid is what we get paid, and we smile and move on and make sure we feel the customer's been taken care of. So those 5, 7, and 10 are really the most important. One other thing that's very important to kind of make you aware of, as a Generac dealer, you can be a sales-only dealer. That means you sell generator. Nothing wrong with that. But what happens is, if they're not what we call a service dealer in addition to the sales, they can't, from day one, they cannot provide warranty service to fix your unit. Now, the good news for the customer, it's not that you won't get warranty service. You can go to any dealer, any place, and as long as they are also a service dealer, they can do the warranty. I'm leaving Davie, Florida Florida shortly, moving to Naples, and I will be able to start my business again when I get over there. Now, how do you become a service dealer? There's some dollars involved in it related to time and training, and it pretty much is an annual training, most often 3 days, sometimes more. There are two categories of training. One is air cooled, and that has it where that particular dealer, if they're air cooled service, they can fix the air cooled product, which would be in the 22, 24, 26, anything that basically is not what we call liquid cooled. The next step, and this is what I've always been for all the time I've been in the business, is a Protector Series sanctioned dealer. What that does, it covers the air cool that we just spoke about and the liquid cooled generators up to 150 kW. So you are there to make sure that the unit is the way it should be, and they're not paying anything extra, and you're getting covered. So that's a very important distinction to keep an eye on. You don't want to see where a sales dealer kind of links up with a sales and service dealer, and you don't want to play that type of game. My feeling is if you're selling a generator, you should be able to fix that generator for the customer. The bumper-to-bumper plans are not cheap, and in fact, they keep going up. Like with that, as I mentioned, the generators are, the 10-year plan. The point that generally generators last 10 years. Some less, some more. It all depends on the environment. Is it in the sun all day? Is it in the shade all day? Is it by the ocean or intercoastal? These are all things that, especially salt water, do shorten the life of, these generators. And it's just a fact. Be honest with you, some people think, we don't want to run the generator very much. Actually, you want to run it as much as possible because they do much better when you've got an engine that really is working every day. It's like a car. If you leave it sitting forever, it's not going to be very good. And when now all of a sudden you're going on a long trip, it's a problem. The best time, and this is how you keep an eye on what's happening with Generac. They 2 to 3 times a year put out special promotions where they'll say, buy such and such generator and we will include a 7-year warranty, a 10-year warranty. So that is really the best of the best, because you're not paying more for the generator, but they're, as an incentive, they're giving you a valuable service plan. So we always try to do that. The thing that can be a problem, they are very strict on how someone gets into this promotion. And, sometimes the customer has to do certain things. And I've had situations where, because I can't do it for the customer, it's almost a conflict of interest. If the customer doesn't follow the directions, all of a sudden, and this has happened, I go to service a unit or repair a unit, and I told them exactly what they needed to do, 6 months before, and I go to do the generator, and I find that it does not have the warranty on it. And you can spend all day, all night moaning and groaning, but what's going to happen is they're not going to have that promotion. And it just really is something that doesn't make you very comfortable. Most parts that fail are not cheap. So, having and being a dealer for 18 years, I recommend these warranty plans. And again, especially if you can get it as a promotion, you will be much happier. The other thing that has happened, and unfortunately I have so many in all this time stories that shouldn't have happened, did happen, a fluke. But for example, if somebody has just a limited warranty and they have a unit that basically, and it does happen, is not fixable. Now, you'd say everything's fixable. Well, very rarely, but sometimes it comes down to that the generator should be replaced under warranty. If you're not under one of these bumper-to-bumper plans, it's going to be a tough situation. So it always makes me sad, even though I don't have it where I created the issue, but it is my customer, and I always feel very guilty when things don't go like they should go. Okay, a recap. The standard 5-year warranty is not for you. Buy a generator from a sales and service company if possible. Even though I said earlier that anybody that is sales and service, even if you buy it from a sales company. And some people buy these on, Amazon. Amazon is not a service dealer, but they're allowed to sell Generacs. Try to buy the Generac when you are in, basically have the opportunity for the warranty promotion. And again, usually you see these in 7 or 10 years, the bumper-to-bumper product. And the bumper-to-bumper just means that everything is fixable. The only thing that it doesn't cover are consumables like oil, filters, things like that, spark plugs. But anything that is in that unit that has a problem, it will be fixed. And this is great. And as I mentioned earlier about the extended warranties, Generac will frequently, so keep an eye on your mail. Generac will send you a letter maybe a year after you bought your generator, and they'll say, okay, you got a 7-year warranty, bumper to bumper, that's great. How would you like a 10-year warranty just for a certain amount of additional fee? And the last point is, if you go into a non-fixable situation, if you have a bumper-to-bumper warranty, you will get the unit covered. I want to thank you very much for your attention. I know this is relatively boring, but it will save you a lot of money and time and hassle. And again, thank you so much. If you like it, please comment and subscribe, and please take care. Thank you very, very much.